Okay, so how far can you get with only using 5 towers in BTD6? You're only allowed to have 5 towers of your choice and a hero. For my hero, I choose Azili, because of her Hex ability that deals massive damage on beds. And for my towers, I choose Boomerang, because it's the strongest primary paragon on this map, but it's also a primary tower, so I can make a VTSG. I also chose the boat, because it's a really strong paragon that will also help us make money in the early game, but has a very strong bad hooking ability. I also chose the Super Monkey because of the VTSG and also other support temples and dark champions. Then I chose the Spike Factory because it's one of the strongest paragons in the game, if not the strongest. And of course the banana form for early game farming so I can afford the paragons. So the first paragon I was aiming for was a Spike Factory because it's easy to farm pops for and I can target spikes at the end of the track so it won't steal pops for my future paragons. Next is the Boomerang Paragon. And you may be wondering why I didn't get the boat paragon first, since its money counts towards pops. If I did get the boat paragon first, its passive hooking ability would steal almost all the pops from the boomerang. Also, you may be wondering why we are on spa pits instead of logs or resort. First of all, I'm doing my ultra late game run on logs at this moment, and second, I thought it would be fun to do a late game run on the newest map. And now our setup is almost complete. We just need to squeeze in a few more temples close to the track, but unfortunately the last temple couldn't get any military sacrifices since it was too far away from the water. And as you can see, I'm also using dark champions instead of sun avatars. That is because dark champions are better overall without Adora's blood sacrifice. And since we're running Azili, it's the obvious choice. And now my setup is complete. I could spam some 4-2-0 boats to get even more damage, but it's not worth the amount of lag it's gonna cause. I set a goal for this run to get to around 300 plus, since we're not on the most optimal map.
Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined. Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined. Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined. Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined. Artlist.io.
So we ended up getting to round 356, which is a lot further than I expected. And here's a pop count from every tower. The Boat Paragon first with over 4 billion pops. Second, Azili with 1.8 billion pops. Then the Spike Factory with 1.7 billion pops. And also the BTSG with almost a billion pops. And of course the Boomerang Paragon with 500 million pops. I also want to thank Red Sky for the idea. I think that was his name. And I will link his video in the description.